Hey guys, welcome back to Live Your Style. I'm Sharrah, and today we are going to talk about one of the most challenging subjects ever: how to accessorize a bookshelf. If you guys have not signed up for the Live It journal yet, click the link below and check it out because this week's journal entry is going to be amazing. It is packed full of information, additional tips that I just quite frankly cannot go into in this type of a video because then this would be like a 30-minute video. So if you guys want additional information on this, if you guys want personalized help on how to apply these tips to your own spaces and really see a difference kind of like happen on your own shelves, sign up for the Live It journal. That way you guys have access to all that info, you have access to the Facebook community and all that fun stuff. Not only will the Live It journal help you apply these tips to your home, but it also walks you through what kind of bookcase is best for your space and really where to put them, and all those little design challenges you guys can actually start to achieve and check off your list and see your home start to transform. So click the link below and sign up to be a part of the LIJ fam, and we'll see you there. If you guys haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up on this video, and leave me your comment because I have a question for you today. Since we will be talking a lot about bookshelves and books and all those types of things, I just want to know, what is your favorite book? Leave me, you could do one, you could do two, however many books you guys are obsessed with, maybe you just read one, leave me your comments below and share the knowledge. Share the wealth, because I am looking for another book to jump into. Okay, let's get started. Number one, start from scratch. Okay, so this is one that I forget about every time. This applies whether you have a new bookshelf and you're trying to decorate it for the first time, or maybe you have a current bookshelf that you've had forever and you want to just update what you have on it. Take everything off of it, make sure it starts empty. When you try to update a color palette on it, maybe you want to switch out the pinks and add the blues like I was, and you try to just take little things out and put new things in, you just mess up the vibe, and I don't know. It's just good to start from scratch. It's a lot easier. If you guys are afraid of forgetting what you had before, you want to emulate some of those similar layouts, take a picture on your phone before you clear your bookshelf. That way you can refer back to it. But that way you guys are starting clean and fresh and you can just be creative from the get-go. Number two, pick the color palette for your bookshelves. So I would recommend sticking between 3 and 4 colors. When I say 4, I don't mean like 4 very different bright colors. I mean like maybe 2 of those 4 colors are neutrals and 2 are gonna be more colorful. And it also depends on how big of a bookshelf and how big of a room you guys have to really mix it up. You don't wanna have crazy colors if you have a really small space. You wanna keep it pretty neutral and calm. But if you have a big house, you can go wild. Now, because it is summertime, as you guys know, we used to have a lot of blushes in our bookcases for spring, but transitioning to summer, we do live at the beach, so I wanted to bring a little bit of that coastal vibe into our space. I didn't want it to be too coastal to where I have sailboats and starfish and things like that in our space. I still wanted to keep some of the mid-century transitional vibes that we have going on in our home, so I just kind of used that color palette. We have more of the blue, green and white combo, and then a little splash of gray in some of the books and in some of the boxes. I brought in some clay pottery that is kind of like that sand color, adding in a lot of greens, and I even have 2 really pretty kind of abstract prints of an ocean landscape. Number 3, overbuy your accessories. Okay. Take it from me, you do not want to be in the middle of a project and realize, oh man, I should have just bought that other frame that was a larger version of the smaller frame when I was at Target, because now I have to stop in the middle of this project and go all the way back to get that one frame that would have fit the space much better. When you guys are decorating, you never know what sizes you're going to need, and that is the most important thing, is heights. When you get to the space and you're trying to put stuff in it, you're gonna realize the thing you loved so much doesn't really fit or doesn't really have the right shape for that little corner. So having different shapes, different heights of the same thing allows you the freedom to still use an item that you love, and maybe it fits a little bit different and a little bit better than the other size. Now, if you overbuy, you guys can always return if you're buying from the right places that have good return policies, but that way you don't have to stop in the middle of your creative process to go get more. Just overbuy while you're there, have it as an option while you're decorating, and you'll see great results. Number 4, follow the thirds rule. Okay, so the thirds rule is utilizing 1/3 sculptures or larger pots, 1/3 books, and 1/3 frames or smaller little accessories. Making sure that you have even amount of these things kind of spread out through your bookcases is really gonna help balance it, but then also give it a healthy dose of symmetry that's not super like stark and like even things on each side. It just helps to ensure that your bookcase isn't gonna look really weighted on one side and really light on the other. It just kind of is very cohesive and works, you know? Once you guys have picked out all the items that you have at your fingertips to use to decorate your bookshelves, I would suggest kind of putting them in their own categories. So put all of your books in one little area in your house to pick from, put all of your frames and little accessories in another area, and then put all of your larger items like any vases or larger sculptures in one area. That way you kind of have it segmented and you can pick and choose and place things within your bookshelf and make sure you're having an even amount of each. Just helps keep things organized, which is important, because if not, your house could look like a, bomb went off. Not good. Number 5, place your big items first. You're not only just decorating one shelf, you're decorating the shelf and the shelf in its relation to the other shelves as a whole. I have no idea if this example applies to this, but for some reason in my head, I just remember my mom giving me the example. I think it was more about time management, but it does apply to decorating, and maybe she applies it to decorating, who knows. But if you have a big jar and you want to fill it up, you put your big boulders in first, then you fill it with your smaller pebbles, then you fill it with water. If you were to fill it with water first, it'd be really hard to get some of those big boulders in there because everything would overflow. If you filled it with little rocks first, what?
It's not water, it's sand.
Oh, but sand and water, I mean, it's kind of better when you say water because all the water would fall out, pour over. That is not a good vibe for your bookcase. You don't want things pouring over unless they're plants because those are cute. Anyways, the point is, when you place those bigger items, make sure you don't have all of your bigger items in a line. Kind of space them out so that they kind of are balanced. Then you can go back and fill in with the books. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's coming up in the future step, so throw that away. But placing those larger items first, it will build that foundation for your kind of roadmap for decorating your bookcases. Once you have those in place, then you can move on to the next step, which is number 6. Forgot what number we were on. Number 6, fill in with books and smaller items. So now is the time where you guys can assess the roadmap that you just built, and you can add books in vertically to kind of add a balance to the larger piece that you put on one side of the shelf. Or you can place these books in horizontally and place them underneath one of your larger pots if you need to add height, or if you guys have a candle or maybe a picture frame that you want to lift up to be balanced with the larger item next to it. Sometimes if you have a large thing and another bunch of small things on the other side on every single shelf, it's gonna start to feel really busy. So I like to kind of pick maybe one at the top or one in the middle to be super simple and clean, as opposed to having too many things going on. Sometimes less is more, but you have to kind of make that decision when you get into your own personal space. And again, this is another reason to sign up for the Live It Journal fam, because you guys have the Facebook community to access. So if you guys are in the middle of decorating and you're like, hey, I think this looks good, but I don't know, did I get this right? You guys can take a picture of it, upload it to that Facebook community. It is exclusive for the Live It Journal family, and you guys will get some feedback from other people. I jump in there sometimes and comment back. So it's a really great tool and resource if you're thinking about it. Now, a common problem you guys are gonna run into at this stage is you have a lot of great stuff because you overbought. Overbuying does not mean you need to use everything that you purchased. The only reason you overbuy is to have a variation of sizes and heights to flip things in and out if you need. You can oftentimes try to shove too many things in the bookshelf because you fall in love with all these little pieces, and then it's gonna look too cluttered. So remember, less is more, and you wanna just find that healthy balance and make sure if you think it looks a little bit too cluttered, it probably does. So take 1 or 2 things out, try to turn things on their side, see if that helps, and hopefully you'll find a solution. Number 7, use the wall space. Okay, so you guys will see behind me, and you'll see actually on both sides, I really did make the most of the wall space behind the shelves. There are times that you want to actually hang stuff on the wall, like put a nail in and hang it. There's other times where you can get away with just leaning it back and having it kind of casually leaning against the wall. You just kind of have to decide when you get there. But as you can tell on this top shelf here, because it's summer, I really wanted to go for a coastal vibe. I got 2 identical paintings of an ocean landscape, and I had them put side to side, hung them on a nail right on the wall space on that shelf. Also, on the other side, I have my mirror DIY. If you guys remember, I made this a couple of years ago. I got these little mirrors at the 99-cent store and glued them to a piece of wood, and I actually love this DIY, but I love having a mirrored backdrop to the top shelf because, I don't know, it just makes the space look a little bit brighter, and now it kind of has that reflection, looks really clean, and gives it another dimension. And then I did something different than what I usually do. I found this wall decor set that I loved. It's kind of like has that rattan vibe to it. And I had 2 identical panels. I put one on one shelf and one on the other, but I made sure that they kind of overlapped in the middle, but they gave like an interesting little summer vibe boho feel backdrop to each of the shelves. And because they're right next to each other, I don't know, I think it looks kind of fun and different. It gives it a symmetry, but it's a little bit asymmetrical as well because they're not identically matched up. Okay guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope that you guys learned a lot about how to accessorize your bookshelves and bookcases at home. Keep in mind when you guys are doing this, it is a process and you guys are gonna get better every time that you try. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed, I go through that too sometimes. And honestly, it's just a time thing. If you guys sit and look at it, you kind of step back from it, you give it an hour or so and kind of move things around. Like I think some of these shelves, I took things off and put things back 10 or 15 different times. You just have to kind of let the process happen. Then at the end, maybe even for a week, sometimes you're sitting on the sofa or you're sitting in that room and you're looking at the shelves and you think, you know, it'd be really cool if I put this thing there and that thing there. Maybe I'll try that. It's always a process. You can always try to switch things around, but just kind of give yourself that creative freedom and have fun with it, because it is really fun. And you guys are gonna feel so accomplished at the end when you're done. Make sure you guys answer the question of the video in the comments below, what your favorite books are. If you guys need additional help with how to pick the bookcase for your space, maybe different bookcases for your design style, if you guys want specialized links to some of these different accessories that I would recommend for your design style, all of that's gonna be in the Live It Journal. So if you have not joined, please click that link below and sign up, because you guys, I make these things for you guys to help you guys. So I hope that you guys join and you guys can see all the different reviews that we have on there from other people that have joined and have been getting so much help. It's just really fun. I love being able to see you guys implementing this stuff in your own homes, seeing those things change, and I don't know, living your style. Pretty cool. Okay guys, I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Love to you all. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.